Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Woodstock, Georgia, it's time for Cherokee Business Radio. Now, here's your host.
Welcome to this very special edition of Cherokee Business Radio. It is time for our Woodstock Arts segment. And, of course, we have with us Mr. Brian Gamel. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Stone. How's it going?
It's going great. Good to have you back. And I got to tell you guys, many of you here locally anyway know that I like hats. And in our studio, we must have a dozen hats. And I'm going to have to get one of our other sponsors, Steel Interiors, in here to build me some more shelves so I can have more hats. But I was gifted a Woodstock Arts hat today. So if you see me walking around town, I will have that hat on almost assuredly. And this is something that people can purchase at the Reeves House or at some of these events, right?
Yes, yeah. They'll be able to purchase them at least at the Lantern Series and the Reeves House. I think we're still trying to figure it out for the theater, figure out where our merch station is going to go, but definitely at the Lantern Series and at the Reeves House. Well,
it's a good-looking hat, and when we publish this segment, we'll make sure that we get a good picture of it in there as well. Would it be inappropriate if we were to share the latest news on the personal front? Man, what's been happening in your life over the last few weeks?
Well, I just came back from my honeymoon a hot minute ago because I got married on the 22nd of April. So accidentally made it Earth Day, and we had a fantastic Earth Day. So, yeah, my wife and I, she is the general manager over at Pie Bar, both Marietta and Woodstock. So we just had a phenomenal wedding, and we just came back from Colorado and had a great trip.
That is fantastic. So I had not been to the Marietta Pie Bar, but we went and visited with my cousin Zach, who's getting ready to leave town, and he's a bartender a couple doors down at, I don't know, something with birds, two birds.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we strolled over into the Pie Bar there, and of course they do every bit as great a job there as they do out here in Woodstock. But, our first love is Woodstock. We like Marietta. We love Marietta, but our first love is Woodstock.
Of course.
Right? All right, get us caught up, man. What's happening over there at Woodstock Arts this month and next?
You know, things have not slowed down just because I was away. This upcoming Sunday, we have Art on the Green, which is our twice-a-year arts market. We had a couple of discussions back and forth in the office whether biannual meant once every other year or twice a year. So I'm just going to say twice a year arts market. But it's on the green space, obviously completely free to attend. You'll be able to see Vivian and Pie Bar there. They're actually going to have some free samples for people to try. And but we'll have some live music. Obviously a bunch of great local artists. I believe we have almost 60 tents of artists that you can just go check out their work and hopefully support too.
So right there on the green, right?
Right there on the green, directly across the street from Reformation.
And now we have even more and better golf cart parking.
Yes,
right?
we do,
Off to the side. There's some AstroTurf out that way. Oh, I may have asked you this last time. Maybe we talked about this. Are there some plans maybe to AstroTurf the green, or that's just like a
there are
pipe dream?
Plans. The funding is where that's going to take at least a hot minute.
It's always the money. Right?
Well, yeah, especially with doing that large of a space in AstroTurf. It's not as cheap as you might want it to be.
I bet it's not. So we have a little side yard here, and we have a little patio home right there on the edge of town. We're just past Ips in that neighborhood, and so we don't have a lot. And so as I was watching them do that AstroTurf close to the street, I was wondering, if I could con them out of a strip. But I didn't give it. But it looks beautiful. It's great.
Yeah, they've done a great job, especially with the. While I was gone on the honeymoon, it was funny that it feels like all the trees just have all the leaves on them again. So it's nice and shady over there. It's looking great over on that side of town.
So in these tents, what kind of art and vendors might we see?
It varies tremendously. So you'll see Madison and Dusty. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they have stuff in Made Mercantile.
Okay, well, I am. You know who I'm? Baz.
Yeah.
Is he the Dirty Unicorn? Is that his moniker? So Baz at Made, I've gotten to know him a little bit. He made a custom leather tag for me for a Christmas thing that I did. But no, I don't. What was their name?
Madison and Dusty.
Yeah.
So Madison's actually works with the city on Made Mercantile, so she does a lot of great work there. And I know they'll be there. Katie O'Connor has some of her prints that'll be there. She has this at home print machine. It's just really cool. I actually got her to do something for Vivian for Christmas. So
Nice.
a lot of really great artists with a large variety of different styles of artwork too. So we're super excited to have that. Obviously some potters and pottery.
Yeah.
Just the whole gamut really.
And we can nibble on some pie.
Yeah, you can nibble on some pie too while you're there.
Fantastic. I love the green. Like even today, it's such a beautiful day today, and I will find some time just to walk around, and I just love making that little walk right by the green because sometimes I can hear that there's a group of people who enjoy playing bluegrass. And they'll be playing in the backyard of Reformation, but you can hear them all the way at the on the other side of the green where you're sitting on the stage.
Yeah,
and grab you. Usually I'll grab a beer or a tea or coffee there at Reeves' house, and then I'll sit down on that stage. It's just and watch the kids playing, and it's just it's utopia. I love this place.
Yeah, and the weather's been beautiful recently, especially in the shade where it's just like let me feel that breeze and just listen to that bluegrass in the background, and everything's great. And honestly, we're excited. So we recently had our season reveal, which I don't know if I think you might have actually been on your.
I think we were on our boat
cruise.
Ride. Yeah.
So we announced everything we're doing. Our season's run with the school calendar, August through July.
Okay.
So we announced all the theater shows. At least almost all the theater shows, almost all the concerts, and all the exhibits at the Reeves house. But there's a couple of things we didn't announce that are happening over at the Green where, we're getting a brand new LED screen over there. So yes, it's going to be bigger and better than the one we had before. Not much bigger, but definitely a lot better.
Yeah.
So we're doing things like a film festival, movie nights, all those sorts of fun things that will be coming up. So make sure to mark your calendars once we get those officially announced. But so many great opportunities. We're talking about video game tournaments out there. Just so much to do. So that place is going to be definitely busy over the next year or so.
I love that idea. I've never actually attended a video game tournament, but I've seen like snippets of it online. And it looks like a really cool thing.
Well, and it's almost like I've seen people play sports games on the jumbotrons at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, right? Like that's so cool, the concept of that. So it'd be kind of similar, obviously nowhere near that big, but you could see them playing from Reformation, right? They're going to be all across the space.
Big, right? Because it's like
be huge. Yeah. So I can only imagine playing Super Smash Bros. Out there with with a bunch of people, grabbing you some Reformation beer and just having a great time.
Yeah. All right, and then we're into our Lantern series now. Yes.
Yeah, we've still been in it a little bit. We had Jig Jam finally come after I booked them about 4 years ago, and everyone knew they were coming about 2 years ago. Great, phenomenal concert. We had Wilder, but just a duo, come recently, and that was fantastic. And then I believe I'm going to pull up that date real quick. It's not this weekend, but the following, or no, it's the 28th of May. We have the Aditya Prakash Ensemble, which I'm super excited for.
Yeah.
It's Carnatic jazz, which
don't even have a clue what that means.
Carnatic music is a style of singing in India, and the main guy Aditya, he focuses on trying to bridge that gap. So it's really what the Lantern series is about, of finding different styles of music and making them a lot of fun, making them approachable for an audience that may just hear Carnatic music and go, that's a word I don't know, I'm not going to listen to it. But like give it that jazz element. And there's these phenomenal moments where the saxophonist and Aditya, they're playing at the same time, the same tempo, like the same notes, and at this very high paced speed. And it's just so cool to listen to as a saxophonist, right? So, it's just the talent in this group is so amazing, and also just learning about a new culture. That's what we're all about.
Sure. Now, does that bump up against Memorial Day? That's Memorial Day weekend,
I believe so. Yeah, we want to give everyone something to do just for that time off. Get you that concert on Saturday night and enjoy your other 2 days.
Yeah, I can't imagine it at this point that anyone in the greater Woodstock area wouldn't know some of this stuff. But I don't think it'll hurt to recap it. There's always beer and wine there.
Yes.
That is not like marked up crazy, like when you go to a theater and pay $10 for a bucket of popcorn. But you can bring some stuff to nibble on, like a picnic.
Of course. So because the beer and wine's sold there, we legally can't have you bring in your own.
Sure.
But we have it there for you.
We want to support the
right, of course.
Woodstock Arts.
But we do highly recommend bringing in your food. I definitely recommend getting a table if you have, your significant other, and maybe 4 other people that you can get together. Just get a 6-top table, because once you decorate that table, if you win the table decorating contest, you get another free table. So you get to just come and enjoy multiple concerts at that point. But also, you can bring in some food, just have a great night. Get there a little early, set up your picnic, get this table decorated, and then just enjoy a beautiful concert with sun setting right behind the stage. There's nothing that can beat that view. When the sun's setting and you're listening to some fantastic music, you have your tableside wait staff coming up to you because you got your table, you win your table decorating contest, and you're coming to the next one. Like it's it's just a great evening.
It is. It was initially so much of the initial draw for Holly and I to move here, and it's just one of those things we brag about. And we try to incorporate whenever family comes to town, and we love to show off so many aspects of Woodstock, but Woodstock Arts is typically the heart of that show and tell.
Yeah, and we have a lot of great stuff coming up next season too, including a special called Croce Plays Croce, where, if you're familiar with Jim Croce, his son AJ Croce plays a lot of the songs from his father and shows some videos of himself growing up and playing with his dad. Obviously, his dad unfortunately died while he was super young, but there's these family videos, and he'll play Time in a Bottle and talk about how much that song means to him now and how it connects him to his father. I got to see a snippet of it. That's, how we book these bands. We go to conferences and we see snippets of these, maybe 15 minutes worth of a concert. And, I had a tear brought to my eye just that, relationship of a son and his father. And even though they didn't get a long time of it together, it means everything to him, right? So as far as you, are you in the season of going out and doing that, or is this the season of staying home and making sure it all gets executed? This is the season of staying home, making sure it all gets executed. Okay. That season's closer in the fall or winter. That way, normally, once again, behind the scenes a little bit. Next season, we're going to announce our season reveal probably in March or April. I don't remember the exact date off the top of my head. It's somewhere in a piece of paper back in my office. But within theory, we should have everything booked by February. So I know what we're doing months ahead of anybody else knowing what we're doing. That way, when we announce, we can have everything planned out, everything scheduled, all these beautiful designs made by Libby, our marketing manager, all these fantastic things. And it's the same thing with the theater. We want to have everything figured out in December and January so that we have time to get directors in place and, other people just involved. So I have a meeting, a one-on-one, we call it, because I'm part of the Woodstock Business Club, with a lady at Reeves' house today. So we'll go sit like in that little area right in front that's shaded and all that. So I'll enjoy that as early as this afternoon. But there's a relatively new exhibit, or it's not the technical thing with the heather feathers we call it. We've turned it over, right? We've got a new exhibit. Yes,
can you talk about that a little bit? Yeah,
it's the Stacey U. Rose exhibit. It's a solo show, and it's just a lot of her work in this more abstract style. So you go from this very technology-driven exhibit to this more abstract, definitely paint on canvas style exhibit. So kind of taking it back to the roots of traditional art in that sense.
So I didn't walk through there and invest a great deal of time. I probably will before or after my meeting today, but I did kind of just zip through there the other day. And all of the exhibits, one of the things that I like about it is often it's a style of art that I am not accustomed to seeing. I've been blessed and had an opportunity to travel and see, like the old museums, and I got to see some. I learned you don't say Van Gogh, it's Van Gogh. But I saw like a Van Gogh museum on this last boat ride that we did. But I love the diversity, I guess is the right word. The types of exhibits and the type of art that you get exposed to. And I love that.
Yeah, I've told you before, and once again, people might have heard this, but it's not bad to re-say it. But part of the reason we have a coffee shop and a wine bar in the Reeves house is because, a lot of people might not walk into a art gallery at first or an art museum. they'll walk in and get their cup of coffee. We make that a habit for them, and they go, wait, that piece is really cool. Maybe I like art. We did our job, right? You know,
right.
And Nicole has curated a bunch of great stuff going into next season as well. She's an exhibit called Paper Cut. So if you were ever at the first exhibit and you saw that little paper living room that we did, a lot more of stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
There's another exhibit that I'm really excited for called Off the Wall, because it's literally pieces that come off and out of the wall towards you as a patron. So it's super fun, the things that she's looking at doing, and they're unique, like you said. And I love it when we can get different artists and their interpretations of these types of things, like how women's work. You know, it was all traditionally women done forms of art, but they were all different styles of that art and different interpretations of that. So Nicole's really great at curating a phenomenal exhibit.
And then you guys do so many other things out of that facility to support and celebrate other forms of art, other great things going on around the community. I think I've been to a Million Cups presentation in that facility. My wife hung a quilt that my sister-in-law did at this quilt thing you had in the back. There was a jazz night that Holly and I weren't able to make, but it was definitely on our calendar. There's a lot of cool stuff like that's happening virtually weekly, certainly more than monthly, right?
Yeah, so we have for sure 3 events that happen every month. One is Locals Night, where in the studio space where you can take classes at, we highlight a local artist and hang their artwork in there, almost like a little mini exhibit, and they're in there for the month. We have Art on the Spot, which is local artists, once again, and they're making artwork right there in the time frame of the event, and you can pay $5 for a raffle ticket and possibly win one of the artworks that's made right there on the spot.
Right.
Almost like how we came up with the name.
Clever.
Right. And then we do have a monthly jazz night. So that's always the last Friday of the month. And
jazz night is monthly.
It's completely free to the public too. Just come out in the back, go ahead and grab yourself a bottle of wine and sit there for a while and listen to some great music by some local musicians.
Yeah. And sometimes at some of these other events, there's been, I know one local musician, Greg Shaddix, who's a good buddy of mine, or has become a good buddy of mine, probably from that. Another great thing about this community, I didn't realize how much I personally enjoyed live music until I moved here and can walk around and hear it. So
yeah, live music is such a great thing, and honestly, a great way to support local artists too. I mean, music, we've found even through the Lantern series, is one of the lowest thresholds of artwork, right? You know, people have these ideas of theater, or they have these ideas of visual arts because they think of all the movies and media they've seen of, oh, well, the theater and the art gallery are hoity-toity. Like, no, it's, we want to make everything accessible. You know, we want to be something for everyone, as long as you want to be, you want us to be that for you. So that's, like you were saying, every exhibit's different. It's fun. It's unique. Every theater show, you know, we just closed Sister Act. It was a lot of fun. And on Saturday night, we had a very excited, loud, I wouldn't necessarily say rowdy, because it wasn't like they were ill behaved, but, you know, rowdy almost crowd. And we had an actor ask us, you know, like, how do we as an organization feel about that? And honestly, we love it. I love the fact that people can come here, you know, whoop and holler, have a great time, feel excited, and not feel that pressure of when you go to a hoity-toity theater and everyone stares at you because you get super excited, or you think a joke's so funny that you let out this guttural, you know, like you didn't even realize you were going to laugh that hard, or but it's just so much fun. And to see people have such great fun and support artists and to support each other, it's just a cool thing.
So are we in that season of a regular rhythm of some theater productions as well then?
We are. So the theater only at most has a couple months off throughout a year. So right now we actually have the most time off than we normally do because it's leading into the summer.
Okay. And
we have 2 shows to close out this season. Both are family shows. One's called Orphy and the Book of Heroes, which is based off of Greek mythology. Orpheus, Hades is in it. It's a lot of fun. It's basically a way for kids to understand that, and it's goofy, it's lighthearted, the music's great. And then we close out our season in July with James and the Giant Peach, so that classic Ronald Dahl. And it's just a very fun show and a great group of people that are on it. And then we start the next season in August.
Fantastic. All right, so let's it's Business RadioX. Let's talk about local businesses who would like to support Woodstock Arts, but also get the benefit of being seen as supporting and celebrating the local business community and community at large. You have some opportunities to do some sponsorship in a lot of these.
We do. And something else that we don't normally talk about that I'll just plug in first real quick is we've had businesses like Salesforce and other larger corporations too that haven't sponsored, but their employees have gotten together to volunteer. And that's a great way to get involved because we are a volunteer-run organization. Yeah. So they've come in and they've helped build out the set a little bit, right? Or they've helped paint something, or, you don't need to have all of this knowledge in the world. You could have never picked up a paintbrush before. We will accept you on the paint team because, Katie Caldwell has actually been helping out a lot with that, and she can help anyone pick up a roller and paint the stage black. It's not, and then you can grow from there. But from a business standpoint, outside of the volunteerism aspect, we do have sponsorships. We're about to start the renewal process. So if you're currently a sponsor, we'll be seeing you soon. But if you're looking to sponsor something, we do the full season, and there's different levels. Obviously, you can be the presenting sponsor. Those are so Black Airplane is our presenting sponsor for Lantern Series, and then we still have openings for both the Reeves House as well as the theater. And then you can be different levels of sponsors below that, but you get different perks. So if you're a theater sponsor, if you're a gold or presenting, you get one day where you can bring a certain number of people, whether they're clients, whether they're your employees, to a reception before the show, talk to the director, talk to the artistic director, whoever, kind of get that backstage tour a little bit too. Yeah. And then go see the show together and just have this great time where you can, either get some prospective clients in there, or you can just really appreciate your employees. Lantern Series kind of the same way. You have tables that you can have at each concert. And then with the Reeves House, you can do special appreciation events that will help you do. So if you want to have your own personal jazz night for your clients or for you, we can help you out with that. So there's a bunch of different things. And if you're interested at all, we have a development manager now who is in charge of all of that.
Really?
So her name is Beth. So her email would be beth@woodstockarts.org. Super easy. But she does great work with all of those things and honestly wants to help you in whatever way you want to showcase your business. So
fantastic. And one thing I do not want to leave out, because it's such an important part of my lifestyle now, is at the Reeves House, 6 or 7 days a week, you can go by there, you can get a coffee, a wine, a beer, there's sandwich. I think maybe my buddy over at the Woodstock Beer Market maybe makes up some sandwiches periodically and brings over. Is that accurate?
Yeah, he makes some. Danny.
Yeah,
he does some periodically, and we also have started partnering with other local businesses too. Sweet. So we used to buy our bagels from Kroger, no shame, but now we partner with a local bagel maker, Nagel's Bagels.
Oh yeah, we had them in the studio,
and they're fantastic. They actually season both sides of the bagel, so nice. If you and your spouse are splitting one, you don't get the bottom half of the bagel with no seasoning on it. But and we've started doing our own sandwiches with those types of things too, some breakfast sandwiches, and we still have the waffles and all those fun things. But no, the Reeves House is open 7 days a week. Mondays a little bit shorter hours, just because Mondays are relatively slow, and we're just trying to build that staff, do all those fun things. But we're constantly trying to pump out those events so that you guys have a lot of fun and something to do almost every day in Woodstock. Right. But yeah, it's always available. The coffee's fantastic. The tea is fantastic. And
yes, it is. I like. What is the name of it? It's the mint flavor.
Oh, Meant to Be.
Meant to Be.
I'm a huge fan of the farmer's market because it's almost like a hibiscus tea, but it has a little more of those fruity and herbal flavors to it.
All right, I'll get that today.
It's really good. And I think we have a special right now with it where they throw a little bit of the ginger simple syrup in there. It's nice and tasty. But they do a lot of great work over there. Riley, the manager over there now, she's doing some awesome work. Liz and Maylee, you'll see over there as well. But And is it the email that I get?
do I get it from Libby?
Libby, she is our marketing manager, and she'll send you out emails if you sign up for our email list, and then you can also tailor what things you want from us. So if you're just interested in the visual arts, you can sign up for that emailing list, or Lantern Series, or those things.
Okay.
But obviously we want everyone to know about everything. So if you have multiple interests, okay, let's get you on those paths. And one other thing I did want to mention, because new season's up, people have been asking a lot of great questions. Subscriptions will be available soon. You can always fill out a form in person and give it to us, and then we'll put those into the system as soon as we get the brand new ticketing system that should be hitting us July 1st.
All right.
So the only way to get tickets at all up to this point is through a subscription. If you only like one event next season, then I'm so sorry for you. You should come to a lot more of them because you'll like all of them. But if you're like, man, I really want tickets to just this one, those don't go live until July 1st at the earliest. So everything else is available to get a full subscription, and that's your best bang for your buck too, especially at the theater, because we're going to start doing tiered seating. And the cheapest way to get the front row is through a subscription, and it's an insane deal. It's so silly that people don't take advantage of that one more.
And the theater is over in the Chambers building?
Yeah, in that building. So if you're familiar with where Rootstock is, right behind that big building that looks like a church,
right?
That's us. So the city has the Chambers in one half of it, and we have our theater, our offices, and everything else in the other half. So
fantastic. Okay, let's wrap with leaving our listeners with easy ways to find out more. Website, I think. Let's mention Beth's email again, maybe, for the business.
Yeah, of course. Website's woodstockarts.org, and worst case scenario, just always go back to the website, woodstockarts.org. You'll have all the information you'll need. But if you're a business interested in a sponsorship, that's Beth, BETH, at woodstockarts.org. Email her there. And then you can find us on all the normal social media channels, Facebook, Instagram. We even have a Twitter, so...
Oh, fantastic. All right. Well, we will see you guys at any and all of those places that we described. We're so blessed to have Woodstock Arts here in this community, and Brian Gamel coordinating things and captaining the ship. Thank you guys so much for what you're doing, man.
Thank you for everything you do, Stone.
All right. This is Stone Payton for our guest today, Brian Gamel with Woodstock Arts, and everyone here at the Business RadioX family saying we'll see you next time on Cherokee Business Radio.